1. That is a nice looking note, I gotta say. I like that. I do, it looks good. For a change. Here we go, example 1. That?
Emma just it's no current there. Yes, it is. You're going down. So you get this. Okay.
Okay. So this is, you don't actually know this, so I didn't tell you what the title was. This is going to be the top grossing movies by year. Okay. So we're going to have year along the left and money along the right. Okay. So I'll give you a second to copy down the table and I'll show you how we're going to graph this. Okay. So this is something you might actually need to do for your work. Okay, maybe not movies, but you might say productivity across the, or number of bolts sold, or whatever you do for a living, okay, right? By month, right, or week by week, or whatever, right? This is something definitely we could see in business for sure, okay? I used to work, I was in an accounting firm before I was a computer programmer, before I was a teacher. We had a lot of stuff like this, monthly reports, and, you know, they like to see upward trends, what bosses like to see. Okay, so write down that table, okay, year and then money. And then we'll get this on some graph paper in a second here. There's a few little things. This is more do your eye right there, by any chance?
Yeah.
Can you check to see what this squiggly line's called? You can find it online. You know that,
That's this up last.
I think we did, but I didn't write it down.
A bite.
It is a weird little name like that, right?
We did that.
I know we did.
School of history.
Yeah, your history from 6 months ago? Yeah. Or 95, I think it is. 95. 95 when Titanic came out.
Oh.
You guys know Titanic?
Yes.
I was dating a girl. We saw it 7 times.
7 times.
So I made sure I saw Titanic 7 times.
4-hour-long movie.
She loved it so much. So when Spider-Man came out, I watched it 8 times. So Spider-Man would be a better movie than.
I watched Titanic in the class and
No.
then watched Spider-Man. What number did I miss?
I'm gonna watch Titanic.
50, I'll leave them out. 50, 63, 119, 78, 81, 87.
Yeah, I missed 87.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to talk for a second. Aiden's still writing the chart out. Anybody else? Aiden, good? Okay, so this is the tricky part for this graph, is knowing which one's the x and which one's the y. Okay? I'm going to call this one my x values, and this one my y. And you know what x is, because if it rises, lie the same. Thing. Okay, so if you take a look, I'm counting by 5s here, right? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. This y one's going to go 63, 119, 78, 81, 87, right? It's all over the place. But because the one on the left is counting by the same thing, that's going to be my x.
A squiggle.
Really? Seriously?
Or a stale break.
Squiggle. I knew it was something weird like that. Okay.
And then you even called it that.
Squiggle. Okay. Let's get this guy graphed up.
So that sounds like something you hear off the wheel. Very technical.
I'm going to do 2 extra things here. I'm going to make my point here right now as well too. If you have room on the right, let's do my points. Can I get someone please to be brave? I don't know where I stopped down. I'll start with you. What is my first point going to be? What? How about what? Uh-oh, I'm waking him up. Dale, what's the point, please?
1985 and 50.
That was Back to the Future, I'm sure. Okay. Ben, what's my next point, please, on the graph?
1990 and 63.
Very good. Good. Aiden, next point, please.
1995 and 119.
Thank you. Sophie, what's the fourth point of the graph, please?
2000.
Yeah.
And then 78.
Very good. 2000 pound 78. Madison, next point, please.
2005 and 81.
Good. Trent, next point, please.
2010. 87.
Thank you. And Jaden, last point, please.
2015.
Very good. Now, before we graph these, okay, this is the part let's be very, very careful about, okay? So just everyone, write down those points, and then I want to talk about one thing, because this is something that your graphs can get very messy, okay? Okay. Kevin, I'm going to pick on you, because you're in red today. That has nothing to do with Y's, because you're up next. What do my x values go from? Where does x go from? What to y? Okay, very good. So take a look here now. Look very carefully when you see that. Do we have to start my graph at 0 for x? Definitely not. And please don't. Okay, so if you were to start at 0, there'd be 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, right? And that would take you a lot of pages to fill in. Okay? So before you start, just take a little comment on the side and just say what your possible points are. Liam, for my y values, where does my y values go from? What to what? What's my smallest and what's my biggest?
Yeah.
50 is the smallest, yeah. And well, actually, it's not this one here, right? So 119 is actually the biggest, okay? Okay, so this is the key point. So I don't need to start at 0. Does everyone see that now? Okay? So what we are going to use is something called a squiggle. I love that word, okay?
From 0 to 100.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is here I'm going to, now, because there's no negatives to it, I'm going to use something called an L graph. I'll get that in a sec. So if you guys smell out your little graph papers, what is going on here? So this one is a little bit different for the other graphs here. Now, before everyone starts writing, please pay attention. This one I'm going to make an L graph. Why is it okay that I made an L graph and ignored all the negative numbers? Everything's positive, right? So we're doing everything up there, right? And in real life, you're going to see a lot of graphs that look like this, okay? Did anyone here take geography this semester?
Yes, it's horrible. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, please don't say that, okay? But I imagine, do you guys look at National Geographic?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you have seen it before, right? 'Cause they love to do charts and tables and stuff like that in there for sure, right? And that's all we're doing here. This is just an example like that. Okay, so a few things that we're going to need here. This is the first thing, is arrows still. Okay, so we're still putting arrows on all 4. The difference is for this. Okay, I'm going to put arrows on all 4. I'm going to need Aaron to come through in the clutch here. Are you ready? What was my y value?
The highest one?
No, in English though. What did my y values mean? You remember?
It's
Good, yes, but I mean, what did it represent? Look at your table. What did it represent? What were the y values going to be?
oh, the U's.
Y values.
Oh, the price.
Yeah, price, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my page sideways. I'm not, but you guys are. And you're gonna write like money or something like that on the side. Because we're not really dealing with Y and X in this case, right? We're dealing with money, okay? So you can do Y and X, that's fine too, you're not gonna be wrong. Now on the bottom of the X, what are the X values then? If the Y value is money, the X values are? Years, okay?
Yeah, you guys want to know these, because 7 and 8.
But this is something though that I want to make sure, because this is more, I keep coming back to this because we love upward and downward trends, and also because in real life you're going to see Scatterplots, you're going to be able to read them. Well, there's not a real phone I see people. You're hoping this class is over. You know what? You've got to sit through the next 23 minutes like the rest of us there, Caleb. All right, so this is the thing we're going to do here now. Now on the top and the bottom, I'm going to put my squiggle. What a squiggle looks like is sort of like a backwards Z or a diagonal Z. That's called a squiggle. What the squiggle means is that you don't have to start at 0. What am I starting at? Kevin, what's my lowest Y value? Starting at 50. So I'm going to start at 50 right at the bottom, right like this. Now this is what we call a scale. So I'm going to give people a second to get caught up here because this is, so at the bottom of your page is going to be 50. What number do we want at the top for our page? I'm not going to say, I'm going to say no to 119. I'm probably going to say 120 because it's easier to get to 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pick a number so that 120 is somewhere up here. Does that make sense? So I'm probably going to go 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 105, 110, 115, 120. So I'm going to, for me, I'm going to count every other one is a 10. 60, 70, does that make sense what I did there, right? You want to try and spread as much as the page as you can. If you're using a whole big piece of paper, I'm looking at Amy's using a whole big piece of paper, and that's fine. You don't want to make a little tiny graph this big if you're using this much paper. Does that make sense, right? So if you're using this much paper, make sure your graph uses this much paper. Just more, anything to add to that? Because you've seen a lot of graphs over the years, a lot more than I have, I think, so.
And when you're doing your scale, some people think they can just put the points, the numbers that are in their table of values, right? They might not be exactly scaled points.
Very good. So yeah, so this is what I was saying. The X values normally are going to be lined up perfectly, right? They'll be counting by something nice. But see, I don't have a 60. Right? I don't have a 119, I don't have a 78, I don't have an 81, I don't have an 87, I have an 100, right? So you always have to make your numbers count by the same thing going up. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing over here. My sideways Z. I'm going to go 1985. How am I going to do this more? Right sideways, you think?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
Now your graph unfortunately is going to look better than mine because I can't write sideways as good as you guys can. Now I might have been able to do a better job, but that's not too bad. It's not too bad, okay, right? So you want to try and spread as much as you can left to right as well too. So if you want to count by every other square again, I see Emma here doing a nice job here for her. She's doing 2 squares for every spot, so she gets across her page. That's a good job, Aaron, too. That's a good job. Okay. So gentlemen, this is all coming back from grade 8. That's okay. Everyone goes to a different school, right? So everyone learns different things. That's fine. Okay, so once we have that, we're going to plot our points. Oh, this is perfect. It's going to work out nicely. So I'll plot my points. 1985, 50. It's going to be right here. Right at the bottom. 1990, 63. Now, okay, I'm going to stop here because I'm getting too excited. I don't see a 63 on there. How do I find where 63 is going to be? Dale, you're on fire. Go ahead. Right, okay? You have a point at 60, you have a point at 70, so 63 is going to be between them, but closer to 60, right? Because 63 is sort of close to 60. So I'm going to go 1990, and 63 is maybe going to be about here, I say. Okay? Something other than Dalen. 119, I don't have a 119, so I'm going to pass on you this time, okay? On 119, how did I put the 119 up here? Go ahead.
We're gonna go 1995 up to 120, then just go tiny bit down.
Very good. You're going all the way up to 120, and just go all the way down. Down just a little bit, right? 78, somebody else other than those two, where's 78 going to be? Calvin, picking on you, where's 78 going to be? For 2000, 78, how do I put 78 down?
Just like close to 80.
Yeah, really close to 80, just a little smidge, just beneath the belt. Now, if you're at 77, I'll give you that, okay, right? If you're at 71, I won't. Does that make sense? Like, if you're closer to the top, I'll give you a credit for it. If you don't mind, Danielle, if you don't mind just doing a little circle here and just do it, thanks. Comes up 78. Okay, 2005, 81, that's just going to be a little bit above. 2010, 87 is going to be in between there somewhere. 2015, 100 is going to be up. So your point should look sort of like this. Give me a second to scribble though. And again, I'm seeing really good, nice big graphs for people. So how's it going? Okay? So just take a second and plot your points, okay? Just take a second, plot your points there, okay? And then we'll talk about outliers and trends and all that stuff in a second, okay? All good. And again, you can use a big piece of paper. I'm going to talk with two neighbors here. Emily used a big piece of paper here. Quinn has used this much of his page here, that's fine. As long as your scale is good and you're labeled properly, you're still going to get the same shape of your graph, right? Now, I'm not actually going to connect the dots here for a change, because it's not an equation, so I don't connect the dots. But if I were to, it looks like the line's going to look sort of like this, right? You're sort of dropping at the bottom here and going up like this. What type of trend goes from the bottom upwards to the top? Do you guys remember? Is that an upward trend or a downwards trend?
Upward.
It's an upwards trend. So we're just going to write somewhere on a page. Actually, I forgot one thing. Oh my goodness. What did I forget to do on this graph before I hand it in? Oh no.
Name, date.
Name, date, title. And you're probably going to say something like this. Top movies by year or something. Oh goodness, Mrs. Moore, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Okay, to finish off, we're going to say this is an upward trend. Because if you take a look, it's going up and up and up. So if you had to guess, like 2020, it's probably up here someplace, right? If you had to guess. 2025, probably up here someplace. 2030, probably somewhere up there. Okay, someone other than Ben, I know you got this down. What is my, other than you, not you this time, what's my outlier going to be in this case? Galen, go. This one right here. So I want to say the outlier. There isn't always an outlier, but here there is. Okay. So we're labeling here what our outlier is. Okay, and what the graph is. Okay, are we good? I'm going to pause in the video. We're going to call it a day. Now, before I call it a day, you have some work to finish the last 20 minutes. So don't back up your stuff yet, Emily. Yelling. I just like yelling. What you guys are going to do is you're going to come to the front as gently as you can. You have one graph to do yourself right now. You can do it right now. Get it done in the next 20 minutes, okay? One graph. Ready? Do it. Now to give you a graph is all that. All right, give me 1 second, I'll look at that. Okay. Does everyone hear that? Everyone's got one question to do.